Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, good morning from whenever you're calling in from. Happy weekend to everyone. Happy Sunday to everyone. For those of us that are here, just straight up into the chat. As you can see, guys, this week is gonna be maybe not as busy as last week because last week was really, really busy. We had a lot of news releases almost throughout except for Monday. But for this week, the news that seems to be much more pronounced would be the NZD on Monday and on Wednesday. Monday and on Wednesday. Let me see. Thursday seems a bit it's gonna be a bit quiet. We never know how these things do. Sometimes it may seem quiet, may seem as if we won't have high impact news, but when the day comes, you see a whole lot of things move all over the place. So let's just see what the charts would have for us for this week. Now, for some of us, that have been following the charts, we've noticed there's been a lot of movement, unexpected movement, most especially for the NZD pairs. Now, the way they all just turned was quite, surprising to me. Like for instance, I was expecting this inverted head and shoulder to play out, and then what did we see? They don't all of that. The same thing here as well. Was expected this inverted head and shoulder, this to break above, and then they don't. Thank God we didn't enter this one. Remember how we trade? We need to see a break above before we take a trade based on this drawing. So, but that didn't happen, and price just kept coming down. But it's fine. As something else, this one is okay. I've seen that this one as well, this double bottom, we expected that to play out. It started playing out quite all right, but as you can see, they dumped that as well. The same with a few like this one as well, AUD Swiss franc. We're waiting for that inverted head and shoulder to play out. What did you guys notice? They dumped that one as well. I was really expectant, expecting this one to push up, but they didn't break into our buy zone. Just started coming down. Same here, created that level, waited all forever, and then that didn't play out. They dumped it. And you see, the good thing about every one of these, um, what happened all throughout, and every one of these pairs that we looked at, they never gave us entry opportunities. They never came into the places that we expected them, but for some of them we did find after they started dropping each and every one of them, we saw some entries in some places. Like this one gave what's it called now, this one dropped and it kind of reaches. I don't know. I think I missed this one. I missed it by a few pips and then it started coming down. I can't remember. But anyways, let me just start fully from the very first one. What we should be seeing, you know, when they all come all the way down to the bottom, that's a good opportunity for us to expect, but because anything that comes down more surely go up. Well, maybe not in physics, but in the market, if it comes all the way down, definitely it will always go back up. It won't go down forever, neither will it go up forever. So right now, if you look at it on the higher time frame, you can see even when I go to the monthly, this is a very strong level. It hasn't broken it since 2009. See, it hasn't broken it since 2009 March. So I'm of the opinion, and it's only tested it one, two, maybe three times. Yeah, but I'm still very much biased towards the upside. And the fact that it's gotten this low just means that we're gonna kill this real big. Now, how do we trade this one? And what I'm waiting for right now is for this, to let me see if I can grab my pen to change this to yellow. I want this to come all the way down here. Yep, I can see that's throwing in some what's it called now, doji here, big doji here. So I want it to come all the way down here and then take me back to the top. Now, if I can get that entry, if I can get an entry from that level, yep, if I can get one entry from this level, that's a lot of pips. A lot of pips here. Let me see if I can see it on the higher time frame. Even though I decide to take it from here down to where this thing is, this trend line, it's still 200 plus pips, but I'm very much biased towards this going all the way back to the top because it's been down for a while. It's been playing around this area for a while. So we might be seeing this go all the way from here. If it comes all the way down and then down to that level, which is 1,360 pips. So guys, that's what, again, if it's been down for a while, it's definitely going to start going back up. Again, it may not go in one move, it may not go in one day, it may not go in one. Let me see how long it took this one to come this far. Remember, every one of these represents 1 week. So let me see. Yeah. Yeah, about 75. I think that's 75 weeks. Can we say? Yeah, we'll call that 75 weeks. So yeah, it took a while for that to come down. So definitely we're going to expect that journey back up to be a while as well. So one place to look for an entry will be down here. Another place to look for potential entry, but because I won't be selling or buying at this level, it's in the middle. So the next place for me to look for an entry, if for some reason it doesn't come down before jumping up like we expect, then I need to let it go back into this level. Yep. And then because it's a level that I identified previously, and you see how price kept playing around it. So I'm expecting it to go back to that level. Then I can look for my entry. So I wouldn't be jumping into my buy just because we know it's going to give us that 1,000 plus move to the upside. I won't be jumping in. I will be looking for it to come into a good position, either here, so that my stop loss possibly a few pips. Sometimes they might want to push it a bit down before, so you might just, if you've missed that, if something happens and you get hit, it's fine, just let it come and then look for an entry at this level, because you make whatever you lose back. Sometimes it happens like that. But I'm expecting this to come down to that level, and my buy limit would be here. And then if I miss that, if it doesn't come that low, then I would expect it to come to that level. Then I'll put my buy. If it breaks above that, put my buy limit here, and then take my entry, take my trade to the upside. Okay, so AUD Swiss franc, same thing happened here. We expected that move to the upside, didn't happen. So I've already marked it out another level. The same thing for every one of them. Strong level, strong level. So it may push back to the downside, because right now it's hanging. So it may push back, may push all the way down here before now returning to start moving up. It may do that. Well, right now it's just or what you can just notice is for this to just when it opens, pushes back to the upside. Yep. Let me see that on the daily. So this is where we're at on the daily. So I would say that the one place you can look for trade will be when this comes back into this place, or when this comes back into this place for a more a higher possibility trade. But again, remember, levels. You would not miss it if you identify levels and you trade within those levels. Let price come into them, and then react. Then you get your entries from that level. So right now, this is what we're waiting for. If this doesn't continue to the downside, then we're looking for a trade at that level or at that level. But the best one will be if it comes all the way down here. Again, this is where it is at. Some people might say, am I going to miss all of that? Yeah, sometimes man, it's just because you don't know what's going to happen. I know it looks like it's broken below and it's playing around here, so maybe possibility of it coming down. But I know there's so much more to expect on the upper side. So I don't want to take a risk, a chance at it. They might, if you want to, you can create levels at this place. You know, I try to avoid, you know, Tom, rumbling. Let's finish eating. So might want to do that. If you really want to play the downside. But again, even though you want to play the downside, I wouldn't say just stay in there for so long. I'll try to see if we can sell it all the way to the down. Just enter. We get a few pips, few 30, 20 or whatever, 50, take it, and then But the thing is this: when it gets so close to the downside, like that, it's been running low for so long, I try to avoid taking trades because I don't want to take the chances, except maybe like we're scalping or just jumping up for the quick wins. But I'm more my all my advice will always be always try to see if you can take your trades from the top or from the bottom of a move. That way you can enter and then come out easily without the fear of losing that trade. So this is where this one is at. Yep, AUD JPY. So that's the same thing that we thought this one as well would continue to the upside like we said, but nope, it didn't. It just left and started coming down, but it's all good. This is where it's at. I want to show you that on the higher time frame. So this is that level. Price came here, bounce, came here, bounce. So it's been bouncing off this level. I wouldn't really be looking for a sell for me on this one anyway. It's although it's tested that level multiple times, but I'm really not really looking to sell it unless it breaks out of that level altogether. It's never been able to break it since 2000 and came in 2000 and came back in 2000 and um, yeah, 9. Yep, came in there, came out of it, sorry, in 2009. I mean, came back into it in 2009. Trying to break it ever since. Been trying to break it ever since. Not been able to break out. So this is where it is at the moment. So, but I'm not taking a sell unless I can. Okay, maybe this breaks out or out of it altogether, and then we can get a sell. But right now, excuse me, I'm not looking for a sell. Rather, I'm looking for a buy. I'm looking for this to push back to the upside for maximum of how many pips if we can get, even though we get an entry from here, that's 1008 pips, 1800. So even though he now decides to turn at this level, still 1600. So place to look for trade would be, excuse me, okay, look for my drawing too. Place to look for a trade would be, okay, let's get that out of the way. Let's reduce that. Okay, so right now this is where this thing is at. Remember what we marked? We said it is gonna, if it breaks that level, it's gonna come all the way to that level. It came in good enough. It pushed even way below that level. So where to look for a trade now will be to let this come back up. Possibly what you might be looking for is a double bottom. Or maybe like an inverted head and shoulder, something. You know, yeah, anything. But basically, the way you enter a trade from the bottom is to look for those levels: inverted head and shoulder, double bottom, or maybe bullish and engulfing candle that just draws itself out. And then if it draws that, and then possibly you find it coming back down maybe to the middle of 50%, and then you can take a trade to the upside. This can that I've taught us how to look for those entries before. So those are some of the levels. I mean, strategies you can use. Can look for double bottom to take this for every one of them anyway that are at the bottom. Look for double bottoms so you can take them to the upside. Look for inverted head and shoulder that may play out as your. This is just technical analysis because that has not happened. It hasn't played out yet. It hasn't painted anything yet. So possibly you could be looking for something like this. Then maybe and then you can look for your trade to the upside, because basically if it's going to do that, most times it will want to play, just paint itself, consolidate for a while, or maybe what you might even notice, it will be it start consolidating in that level, keep going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then what it will happen, it will break out and then push to the upside. But whatever be the case, you have two options: look for a trade at this level when it plays out, or let it, if it doesn't turn at this level, then it's going to come all the way down to that level that we identified, and then you already have your buy limit set up in that place, and then you can kill this one. But as they come out, I'm going to draw out the outcomes and be sending it to us. Same thing with this. We've been waiting for this for like forever. Hasn't inverted head and shoulder hasn't been like what's it called now? Hasn't failed, but hasn't played either. It's been just consolidating here. So for this one, we still have that level that we expected it to give us a trade. Although when it came in, it dropped, came in, dropped. So I would say for this one, I'm gonna ignore this one. I'm going to ignore this one. If I'm going to take this one, I'm going to wait for this to come all the way back up here. Then I'll be rest assured that it's ready to move. There's no rush, no need. I don't have anything to lose for waiting for this to, to make that move, because it's been going up and down. Let's assume I wanted to take this trade and I jumped in at this level, I would have missed it. So I'm just gonna let it go, come back all the way into that level, then I look for my trade at that level to the upside. Yep. So, but I'll ignore this one altogether for now. NZD Swiss franc, the same thing happened for all of the NZDs. As you can see, they all dropped. So right now, same principle. Most of these pairs are at the bottom. Good opportunities. They've created opportunities for us to kill them. So right now, this is what we have. This is where we have this one. We have this level. So possibly you can see that happen. Price may come into that and then bounce, or come into that and then bounce. So, but it'll just have a few pips remaining before the awaited push to the upside. That big move is what we're waiting for. All of these ones, we could just ignore. We just ignore all of this one altogether. Look at what you might be chasing after. You're risking to lose your trade by chasing after this one, But this is what is the big move or really, really waiting for, So that may happen from there, or it may actually happen from here. Yep. So how do you find out? How do you know what to do? Let's come back into that level. So your trade here, for some people that have free cash to just take that risk, they can say, okay, since it's been here, since it maybe possibly some people put a buy limit, but I did put a buy limit here, with stop loss somewhere around here. Hopefully it will come in and rebound. So if for some reason it doesn't rebound, then it's gonna kick me out. But I'm just gonna wait for it. Some other people are gonna wait until they see that play out, and then possibly a double bottom, like we said earlier. Then we'll see that move, or an inverted head and shoulder. Same thing, you know, or a bullish engulfing candle with a maybe a retracement, kind of retracement of 50% pullback. Then they take their trade there, and then they go. So that's what you're looking for that level. If that doesn't happen, maybe this just keeps pushing down. Just let it keep coming until it gets to a good place. You can have your buy limit there again. But for this, it may kick you out a few times, but eventually, if it pushes to the upside, you're definitely going to make all of your money back, because even if it pushes from here, that's 200 plus, and you remember your stop loss. You can't make sure that you have good stop loss when you're trying to enter a trade. Make sure it's at the bottom. At the bottom of the previous high, or the top of the previous high. But if it's too wide for you to handle, then don't take the trade altogether. Wait till it comes all the way back to where it can offer you a good risk to reward ratio. Yep. So NZD, JPY, yeah, and it's the same thing. So remember this one, I saw it last, because I wanted it to come all the way down here to push up. So we're still expecting that to happen. We're still expecting that move to come to the downside and then push up. So you might, if you want to put a buy limit here, but make sure that you have your stop loss in place as well. This has been doing its thing. Double bottom, we expected to happen, to just keep pushing up. Yeah, it pushed up, came back in, then pushed up again, and then failed. I don't know what happened, but that's where we're at now. Now it is going back to that level that it had that reaction. So we might see another move there. Excuse me. So we might see another move. Normally, from the very beginning, we were expecting that move. Remember, guys, we were here, so we wanted this to come all the way down here before that move. But yep, it fell short. It didn't come down before continue. It just came to that level and then pushed. So now it's coming back there. So that may be our level for the next trade. If you're gonna take this one, that may be your next level. So let me see that. Let me see. I'll just draw a line there so you guys can see what so that's 0.68 96 or there, or 90. So that's the level where you'll be looking for the price to come back to. But that's not to say that it's not eventually going to do what we expected it to do from way back. That's coming back down before pushing up. But whatever be the case, you know what to do. Double bottom, inverted head and shoulder, bullish and golfing, then always have your stop loss in place. Yep. So that's NZD USD, Euro Swiss franc, lovely trade. So without right now, what? Okay, excuse me, let me take that out. Okay, so what we're waiting for right now, push that. So this is where we're at, guys. Remember, this is where we're at. Remember that move, that head and shoulder that we were waiting to play out. We waited for so long, and yeah, well, eventually played out, came all the way down. So now this is where we're expecting this to come to before they push up back up. You know, that's one case scenario, or it breaks that level and then comes to this level before they push back up. But either way, the up is where this thing is going to, you know. So you can either this one you don't have a trade because it's already begun. So this is the next level where price is coming to, you know. So if that doesn't come all the way down, you know that you this is where you're looking for a trade. That's why because you've created that level. That's why I said levels are everything. So it's coming back into this level. That's where you're looking for a trade, and then to the upside. Or you can TP here first, and then you see what happens. If it comes, you may just do that and then continue, or come to that level, push up, and then continue. But anyway, what is most important is your entry. So you may need to wait for it to come all the way down. But if it doesn't come, then wait for it to come all the way up to that level. But never enter a trade in the middle. So let's see. This is what I'm talking about. So these are the levels that you've created for it. You know, we're waiting for that move to happen, and yes, it is happening. So again, wait for that to come into that level, and then you can take your trade, or wait for that to reject and then come into that level, and then you can take your trade. Yep. So that may actually be an inverted head and shoulder playing out here. So then you can take your trade at that level. Again, can wait again for it to come here if it chooses to do that. But what is most important is always to find that level, and then you can take your trade from it. Okay, so NZ Euro NZD. Now this is one trade that we expected to just follow this pattern. You know, say well, we expected it to follow this pattern. Yeah, kind of doing it, but we didn't expect this giant pullback to happen. You know, again, these things happen. Like for instance, look at this one. It was coming down, and then what did you see? Pushed back deeply, dropped, pushed back way deeply, then continued dropping, you know, and then pushed again in. So yes, we can see Euro NZD make such movements. Like for instance, this one as well, it pushed up and then came back real deep and then pushed up again. So, but it's the same thing here. Even this previous one came down, pushed back way deep, and then came down, and now we're back to where it dropped from. So we may be finding another entry at that level, but we can't just jump in at that level like that. We have to wait till we see a clear indication. So let price come back into that level, that sell level, just like you saw it here. Let it come back down, and then look for some pullback like you saw it here, and then we can keep selling it to the downside. But ultimately, what we're following, we're trying to see if we can get that full move. It's in consolidation, as we can see. So we're trying to see if we can get this same move. You know, let it finish, let it come all the way down here. So that's 1.63 200 level. So, and then we can now continue to the upside. But at the moment, this is where price is at. So if for some reason it just keeps pushing up, it's okay. It just means that we're going to find another entry at that level. You know, that's the same level that's been turning back from before it did that fake breakout here. You know, so we're going to be looking for an entry here if it keeps pushing up. But for the downside, where we're looking for an entry is for this to come back into that level, for us to look for that sell back down. Yep. So that's that trade. That's that trade. Euro Aussie. This one also pushed way into our sell zone. You know, we expected that head and shoulder to play out. Remember that head and shoulder, we're looking for it to play out. We saw it coming. We thought it was going to push to that level. Yes, it kind of fell short, but then it really did play out as a head and shoulder. But as it kept coming, you know, it just turned the same way all of these AUD pairs, you know, started doing that. I think there was some whatever happened in Australia that pushed all of the AUD pairs down. But so we saw the outcome with that move. So right now it's back into our selling zone where we started selling this one from initially. So we can find another entry. If you can find another sell. Now, if you're already in it, have a good place. You're in a good place. Possibly your stop loss will be here and your sell will be there. But if you're not yet in it, this is now you have to wait for it to come because it's in the middle now. Its move has already begun, so you have to wait for it to come back into that level, dropping back into that level, you know, or even where it is now, it may do that, give you double top at that level. Yep, remember how we trade double tops, inverted head and shoulders, engulfing candles. So you may see that happen for an M or a double top. Then you can take your trade there, or maybe some head and shoulder may just play out, or any which way, but you already understand. So you may just do that. Yep, you just do that. But you don't even need to wait for it to come all the way down there before you find your trade. You can find one at that level. So possibly let that move happen and then possibly double bottom. So, but where your trading level is at that level. Some people would say, okay, I'm just going to wait for it to come back to this level. Then I'll look for my trade. Yeah, but again, levels. We saw how beautiful this move was. Broke it, came back into it, and then pushed up. So if it's going to keep coming, if it's going to come down back, these are the levels that we're looking for. Double top there, or inverted head and shoulder, bearish engulfing candle, they pull back, and then we can trade that or this level. Okay, so that's for Euro Aussie. Euro card. Yes, so this has been consolidating, been waiting for it forever. Dropped, it didn't push all the way into our sell zone, but we're still waiting for that to push into our sell zone so that we can take that trade to continue to the downside. So that one is pretty straightforward. Let me see, close that. That's pretty straightforward. You can see still consolidating, still consolidating. So we still have a sell limit at that level. GBP USD. Now again, remember what I said earlier that it's the only place it has to go is up now. You know, it would be they would have to really, really want to break every level or start a new journey for them to, keep selling this, because this is the lowest it's ever been based on this data that I have here. This is lowest, and this is so close to that level. Now, two things are going to really, really affect the GBP pairs: the Brexit with Boris Johnson in as Prime Minister now. Remember, he's really, really trying to get this done by October, and his mindset is if we don't get a good deal from the from EU, we're gonna get out of the European Union altogether with a deal or no deal. So it means either we crash out, either we get a good deal, or we crash out of the EU. So that may have a very big impact on the pound, depending on what happens. So we can't really put everything on the technical analysis. We always have to put into consideration the fundamentals. Just watch the news, just find out what is happening so you can follow your trade with that. But that if this has been they pushed this has dropped so much, almost we only have about 100 pips before it gets to the lowest since what year? Let me see how low. I think 2000 and okay. Okay, 2006, 17. That's a few. Okay, it's gonna be disturbing me. Yep. So if they push this that far, it's absolutely fine. It just gives us opportunity to hit this. So like I said, it can only go up. It will eventually go up. So we're in a good place right now. This is where we're at. So we're waiting for this. We're waiting for this to break out and push to the upside. Kind of break out a bit and then came back in, but it hasn't broken above. So we still have opportunity to trade this. So if this breaks into that level, another opportunity, short win. But again, for this one's GBP, AUD, GBP, USD, every one of the GBP pairs, we're going to be looking for short wins. There's no long-term relationship with any one of them because they're very fickle. Anything can happen. So once you jump in, just look for your win, look for your goal or target, and then get out. Then look for another opportunity to do the same. It's no sure banker that we're going to sit and then get 500 pips, in one go. So yep, so this is where we're at. If we get an entry at this level, I'm gonna buy to that level and then get out or wait for it to break that level again. That's why you can see I have identified short levels, but for an entry win there. And then if it breaks to it broke to the downside, but at the end of the day that failed to make any much impact. So maybe what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna identify, I'm gonna capture these levels as again, put them into my consideration, and then not try not to trade this level until it breaks away from them. That is how we do it. So now, because it's been coming down failing, I'm not going to trade anything, try to buy to that level or buy from that level. In fact, this is going to come down. This is where I'll be looking for my next line of trades. Because those levels have been failing. Okay, so those are the levels I'll now be looking for my trades. So now, what that means is I'm waiting for. Let me see. I can carry this all in at once. Uh, okay, I'm waiting for this to happen. Yep. So waiting for price to come back down here. Let's go one more. Yes. Okay. So this is where we're at. So I need price to come back down. If it's gonna come back down, then comes back into it. If it down breaks that, then I can sell to that level. But I wouldn't be looking to sell from this level. I need to see that breakdown. But yep, it might say okay. Again, remember how I try to avoid trading double tops and double bottoms when the impulse is not the right direction. I know again for some people don't mind trading them like that. So you have that one, you have that top, another top, and day, so yeah, it can play out like that for some people. Some people can do it regardless of whether the impulse is up or down, but I always want to see my own impulse coming all the way from down so that I can say that is, because that's, for me, that's a clear definition of the M or the double top. Okay, this is not an M for me. So because if I expect that, that's not for me, to be honest, really, based on even what I learned from that book that I shared with each and every one of us, trading for a living. So that's always the rule. So I try to follow that rule based trading. So I need to see this go up, and then if I can say it's a double top for me to trade. Again, that's just my rule. You can decide to say, okay, because it doesn't really matter because it's touched there, it's touched there, I'm going to just take it as a double bottom, a double top, and then trade it. Yeah, but whatever works for you is absolutely fine. So, but if you want to wait for that to happen like that, and then that's good as well. Or if you want to look for a bullish engulfing candle, strong one, then maybe like a pullback, then you can take that back. But again, remember, short wins, just look for where you can jump in and jump out, so you don't form a very long-term relationship with these short-term trades. So yep. But every other ones, that don't have GBPs in them, you can form a bond with them if you choose to. Now, this one has been, consolidating forever. They've been trying to steal our money for so long. They've been succeeding, but I know a lot of people have been failing, you know, been losing the money to them. Because once you expect it to break and reach, to break and then complete that head and shoulder, but it doesn't happen, So, but now it's broken that level, as we can see, broken that level. For all we care, this may just be a fake breakout for it to come back in. Yep, for it to come back in and then continue, because I know a whole lot of people are expecting this to come up. I'm still biased towards the downside though. So this may well do that and continue. It's fine. If it does that, we'll just react. We are reactive. You cannot be proactive when it comes to trading. You react. That means you're following price action. Whatever price is doing there, you follow it. Don't try to predict. If you try to be proactive, you're trying to predict in the market, and then you put your trade in, and then at the end of the day, but just react to it. If it goes the other way, fantastic. Like now it's broken and retested. Now it's giving me an opportunity to trade this. I entered this one, you know. Oh, sorry about that. I entered this one, it pushed down, and now it came back up as well. And now although it's still in it, so I'm still okay because my stop loss is somewhere around here. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I actually pushed the stop loss, but when it came back, I pushed my stop loss in. I was like, I like this trade. It still looks good. I had to take out my stop loss and take it back up. And that's one of those times I do that. So if I lose this, I'll have myself to blame anyway. But it's absolutely fine. Won't be a massive loss. Yep. So this is where we're at. Break, massive break, retest. So I'm still biased towards the downside for this one. You can see, but it's still a very good trade. You guys have not entered, it's still a very good trade. But your stop loss, remember, maybe somewhere here. Yep, and then TP down there. So for what's it called now? Again for euro, SU, I mean euro, dollar. This is it. That head and shoulders finally broken. So where we're really expecting that trade to terminate at is this level here, 700 pips. So yep, if that gives, then that would be really really good. So I'm gonna take two more, and then this one as well. um yep, it's expected that to play out. If it breaks out of this level, then possibly this is where we're going to, but at the moment it's still here, still within the consolidation, still within the flag. Hasn't played, he hasn't um what's it called now, hasn't failed, or he hasn't broken out of it. So this is where we're at now. Yeah, this is where we're at. So if it comes to the upside, if it continues to the upside, then possibly this is what we're gonna see. Price may just push back to the upside again, so possibly we just push back to the upside. But again, remember it's GBP as well, so nothing is certain. Just flow with it as everything plays out. So, but right now it came into that level and dropped. So we're gonna take a chance at it as well. Again, if you want to, but I'm not really gonna be really putting a lot of hopes on GBP for a long time hope on GBP. If I find an entry, break and retest, then I can take it at that level, possibly TP here because that's one level that it created. So, or if it gives a bullish and go, I mean bearish engulfing, look for entry here and then TP here, then wait. That's just what it's gonna be. No long term relationship with it until we can see everything settle down. But anyway, it's not really clear. So if you don't want to take that, it's absolutely fine. Yen as well, GBP, yen, good trade here, good trade. Hit first TP, hit second one, hit third one. Even the one we didn't think it was going to break, even initially, it did the same thing. It came out, broke it, and then now it's going down. So let's see how far it goes. May just go. Remember again with all of the GBP pairs here, good place to look for buys. So it may just go all the way to 124960 before pulling to the upside. So if you want to put a buy limit here, fantastic. But it's already begun to make its move, so I wouldn't really see any reason why I should be selling this. But if that fails, it fails to continue to the downside, then all the best, all the better. Because all we just need to do is just look for an entry. I wouldn't be looking for an entry here. I'll be looking for an entry here. Remember I created that level for a reason. So just is what I'm going to be looking for my entry. The entries. Yeah, yep. So that's that one. Okay, I didn't want to look at this one, but anyway, again, this looks like something that's gonna. It's okay. Broke out, retested something that's gonna continue. So if we're expecting GBP pairs to all bounce, then you know that Euro GBP is gonna come down. So but for now, the possibility of this continuing to the upside is there. It's already begun its move, so you don't have anything to trade here unless you do this and then break there, retest, and then TP here, and wait if it breaks that, continues to the upside. So this is where this one is at. I would say look for the pairs like the ones that we've identified earlier. Look for those ones, the ones that are really high possibility trades, and then trade them, and we should be fine. Okay, I'm gonna draw the curtain at this point so that I don't make it too long for people to watch. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Wish you a good trading week. God bless. Bye bye.